Hello, welcome back to the Board Games 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, generally talk a lot of rubbish about board games and tabletop games, role-playing games, that sort of thing. So in this video we're going to be talking about a venerable racing game called Formula D, or Formula Day as they used to call it. And in this game you'll be getting behind the wheel of a Formula 1 racing car, or you'll be doing a bit of street racing. You'll be rolling dice that correspond to the gear that you're in, and you'll be moving your car forward. And this is essentially a roll and move game, but with a twist, and we'll get into that in a bit. But in this video we'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Formula D is still worth playing today and in the future. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment in the relevant box down there, and we'll see you after this. Board Games 4K. So, Formula D. What do you do in this game? Right, so basically you're going to take a little tiny little miniature car. You're going to select your track, right? And there's a plethora of tracks in this one. There's loads and loads of tracks. Select the track. So you're going to determine who goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, however you want to do that. And everybody starts in first gear. And in this game you've got a little dashboard with a little gear stick, and you'll be moving your gears up or down. And you've got your damage points and wear points on this side. And we're only going to talk about the basic game in this one. We might refer to a few rules in the advanced game, but in the basic game you've just got wear points, and when your wear points get down to 0 you crash and burn and you're out of the game, right? First of all you'll be rolling the yellow four-sided die, and you'll be moving 1 or 2 spaces, and then you'll change up into second gear, and then third gear, fourth gear, until the top gear is a blue die, and that allows you to move up to 30 spaces. So each die allows you to move a higher maximum number of spaces, right? So you'll be bombing around the track, and the trick with this game is that in each corner you've got a yellow number, and that tells you how many times you need to stop on that corner. So it's a push your luck, roll and move game, risk management sort of thing. And in the advanced game you've got other hazards. You might have nitro, or you might have weather conditions, or if you get close to somebody then you might have to roll the black die and take extra damage. And the advanced game also gives you special abilities for different characters, and it gives you engine points, affects your traction, it might affect your tyres, all various other bits and pieces. So you'll be bombing around the track, negotiating these corners, and the first one to cross the finish line is the winner of Formula D. Right, so what do we like about Formula D? So the first thing that we really enjoy about this one is you do get even a sort of just roll and move, you do get a really good sense of speed with this one, and everyone's clamouring to get to that blue die so they can bomb it as fast as possible down the straight. So it's a really nice feeling working your way through the gears, and the fact you can only move up 1 gear at a time, but you can drop down 3 gears, it sort of mitigates that sense of like just going for it and then having no choice but to stop. If you do overshoot, you can use your brakes and take damage to sort of limit the amount of spaces that you miss. So the second thing that we enjoy about this one is it's as complex or as simple as you want it to be. And the basic game, the beginner's game, is so simple even my 5-year-old could sort of play this game. He had to be prompted a little bit with the corners, because all he wanted to do was just hammer and go as fast as he could, right? You can leave whatever rules you want out. There's no real, if you sort of decide that you want to leave out the weather conditions, or you want to leave out the nitrous or whatever, then that doesn't really matter. So it's as simple or as complex as you want this game to be, right? So another thing that's really good about this game is that there's a huge amount of tracks available, and the reprint, the Asmodee reprint, all the tracks are double-sided, and then the second edition is fully compatible with the original Formula Day, I believe, and I think there was 2 editions of that Formula Day. So all the tracks are compatible. It might be hard to find, so I don't know if you could find PDFs and print them out yourself. I don't even know if that's legal, but you stick them on an A1 piece of paper, or you stick them on, if you've got like a table with one of those recessed boards on it, then you could get yourself like a 40-inch TV and stick them on there and do it that way. I don't know, but whatever. So yeah, the fact that there's dozens and dozens of tracks on this one, and I think you've got all the main Formula One tracks I think available. So if you wanted to, and you were that much of a geek, you could do a full Formula One season with this game. I wouldn't want to do that, but maybe you do. So the components, I mean, they're fantastic, aren't they? The big, nice, chunky dice here. You've got a nice selection of dice, and you've got that. They got a wonderful little gear stick. Everyone loves to sort of move and pretend that they're actually sort of like in a race car, right? Going up and down the gears, right? And the street racing variant on the flip side of the base core set is a really, really nice addition. It keeps the game fresh when you're done with the Monaco track. So yeah, this component wise and aesthetically, it's fantastic. So what don't we like about Formula D? So the first thing and the main thing is, because this is dice based roll and move risk management, it can be far too random, and even if you start in pole position, you might just get crappy rolls all the way through, and then there's nothing you can do. And if you're behind and you get a couple of poor rolls, then the game's over for you. So the fact that it's random is it's good and bad at the same time. We're a bit torn on this one, but for some people it may be a real pain in the neck, right? So the second thing that we don't like about this one, and it would have been the first one if you don't house rule this out, but player elimination is a no. So we just house rule this out. Instead of saying if you go through one of the turns and you're out of the game, what we do is we just say that you've spun off the track, or you've flipped or something. So you flip your car over, and then you spend your next turn flipping it back. And if you go through and don't stop twice, then you spin off the track and you flip as well. So you have to spend 2 turns flipping it over. So that's the best way to do it. And of course, you always start in first gear when you resume. So there's that as well. So you can house rule that player elimination. There's no need for it in the modern era, right? So just get rid of it and don't worry about it. Miss one stop, then you go down to the first gear. You miss 2 stops, you flip over and you spend a turn flipping it back, and 3 stops, then you spin off the track and you flip. So it spends 2 turns trying to get it back, right? That's nice and simple. Job done. Player elimination eliminated. So the next thing that we find frustrating about this one is that it all depends on what track you're using, but on the base Monaco track, there's very little scope to get up to that blue die. You've got to be very lucky, and everybody wants to get hold of that blue die and chuck that one, right? And you might, even if you get to use it, you're only going to be able to use it once, perhaps maybe twice if you're very, very lucky. So there's that blue die is in there. It's a tempting thing, and it's like the forbidden fruit, and you don't really get to use it often. So that's really frustrating. So to summarise, is Formula D still worth playing in 2019 and beyond? So we would say yes, it's cheap. We picked this up, I think, I don't know, years ago. I think it was about 25 quid. I think it's still around about 25 quid now, I do believe. But it's a nice and simple racing game. It does what it promises. It allows you to throw a few dice, take a few risks, and hopefully finish in first place. But the fact that it's random, don't expect it to be some mental strategy game that's going to, sort of give you a headache or give you a migraine. If you want something like that, go for, say, GMT's Grand Prix. So yeah, it's very visually appealing. The colours are wonderful. It's got some really nice artwork, and if you look closely at the board, you can pick out some little Easter eggs and things that are going on the board. So yeah, you've got the plastic dashboard with the gears and everything, nice chunky dice. It's fantastic. The component quality is top notch, even though the reprint is about 7-8 years old now. So yeah, I mean, it can get a bit too cumbersome if you throw in some of the advanced rules, and a lot of the advanced rules, like even just rolling that black die, the chances of you rolling a 1 on a d20 are pretty slim, right? So a lot of the advanced rules that you can add, they don't really add much to the game. So it might be wise leaving them out, and just add in the bits of herbs and spices that you would like to just elevate that game up to the point that you're comfortable with. So yeah, so we're going to give this a 7 out of 10. The fact that it's compatible with all the old maps, if you can get hold of them, and it's still being supported with new maps, it's fantastic. It's a very simple roll and move game with an added twist of having to stop on the corners, and that's basically it. That's all it is. So yeah, 7 out of 10, recommended in 2019. So like we said, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment in the section down below, and we'll see you next time.